Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ball Not Court Podcast host Cortez Paul, along with my co-host Kevin Carter. I want to thank you folks for tuning in today and listening to the show. Basically, we cover basketball, football, NCAA, or anything that's related to current events with a humorous twist to it, at least. You can follow the podcast at BIOC Podcast at X or Twitter. We're also on Instagram at the same name, BIOC Podcast. You go to our YouTube channel, that's also BIOC Podcast. Our Facebook page is Balls Not Court Podcast. So if you could please just give us a like, shout, comment on any of those, and definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we thank you for listening and enjoy the show. Balls Not Court Podcast. Thank you very much. Welcome to the Balls Not Court Podcast. Cortez Paul is here. I am joined by Mr. Paul Mack and Kevin Carter. Mr. Carter, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you gentlemen doing?
Hey, man. It's going, sir.
Now you sound like I do. They're like, how's it going? I'm here. That's about it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man. 2024, man. This is a good time.
Want to say happy anniversary? As this is like I don't remember how many years ago, but
want to say it's 11.
11. Holy shit!
Yeah.
Been that long?
Yeah, man.
Season 11, huh?
God darn.
I was in Boston in like 2012, so 2013. Sorry. And so, yeah, it's 11 years.
Yeah, so, God darn, man. 11 freaking years we've been doing this shit.
Yeah, man. So it's pretty cool, man, to see.
And we still suck. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, we can only get better a little bit every day. That's all we can do.
Well, fuck. It's been 11 years. We should be fucking great now. Holy shit.
Oh, man.
My mama thinks I'm great. That's all that matters.
But there you go. Mr. Mack, how you doing this evening, sir?
I'm good, sir. It's been a long week, but NBA is back tomorrow. So
yeah,
it's not. It's been weird. It's been weird not having like anything to watch on TV. Like it's been a really, like, you know what I mean? Like I don't want to watch college basketball. I don't know. It's just been weird. It's nice knowing like the NBA is on like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, whatever. Like get home from work and there's always a basketball game on. And that hasn't been a thing for the last week, so it's been rough. But we're here, man. We're here.
I've been watching a lot of shows. I watched the Vince Staples show. It was short, like 5 episodes and 20 minutes episodes. I've been watching Mr. and Mrs. Smith on Prime Video. So, you know, just trying to find stuff to do.
I watched the little mini series they had on Netflix about Alexander the Great.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's pretty good. He's pretty great. He's pretty badass.
I did get back in the gym this week though, so we're out there, bro.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah, I don't do that shit.
So we're out here.
Yeah, you get in some Daytona 500 action, or did that rain?
No, I didn't get to go. I didn't get to go down there. I didn't get tickets off of it. I would have went Monday if I would have got it. I did watch all of it because they switched up my work schedule, so I got to go in early. And I was like, look, as long as I get off before the race starts, I'm fine. So I got off, came home, sat and watched all 500 miles.
Oh man, there you go.
I will tell you what's been cool about college basketball though, is I've hit a couple parlays the last couple of days, so I'm up like $600 this week. So
have you?
The NBA better keep the luck coming along tomorrow because I'm ready.
Well, good for you, bud. There you go.
Yeah, man. College kids. I feel like I'm a booster.
Hey, contribute to the NIL.
Yeah.
Investing in these kids' futures.
It's called,
there it is.
The one you need to invest in is called Gator Victorious.
Hey, there you go. All right, so let's get into it, guys. Let's talk about NBA All-Star Weekend, or what it was. The East defeats the West 211-186. That score is correct, ladies and gentlemen. 211-186. And Damian Lillard wins the Kobe Bryant All-Star MVP award. So, Paul, what were your thoughts about the All-Star game and everything like that?
I low key watched. First of all, it says it was going to start at 8:30. The NBA is not
runs on black people time
at all. Only they tipped off to like 8:50, almost 9 o'clock.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, so by then I was already like, all right, well, fuck, I don't want, whatever. I'll give it a watch. And shout out to Tyrese Halliburton, because as a player from the host city in your first All-Star game, the way he was the entire weekend, like his interview tour and all these shows and going on all these things, on ESPN, he was everywhere. He was kind of doing the round table of everything, and then he was in the skills competition. He was in the 3-point shootout, and to come out in your first All-Star game and start the game off the way he did, I think he hit like 5 of his first 6 shots or 4 of his first 5 shots, just came out just scorching hot.
Yeah.
It was really cool to see in his first All-Star game. Other than that, I mean, I don't know what Luka was doing. I did enjoy seeing Jokic. Every time he would score, he would like pump his fist, like, yeah. Or if someone scored, he would want to give, like, he's so goofy, that guy. Like I love Nikola Jokic, but after that, I mean, I was pretty much out of it. I mean, by about halfway through the first quarter, I turned it off and I didn't watch any more of it. I just kind of would check the score, and once the East was up like 30, and I saw how many threes they were shooting, I was like, oh well, there's no possible way the Western Conference can come back because they don't have the volume of shooting that the Eastern Conference had. So it was just one of those things where that was really the only way the East could have won, was just shooting a million 3-pointers. But I mean, whatever. I enjoyed the stuff on Saturday more than the All-Star game, but I don't even know why we have this. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, your thoughts about the game?
When the best thing about the whole entire weekend was the floor that they put into the football stadium on Saturday night, that says a lot, because the best thing about this whole weekend was that floor and the LED floor that they put in and everything like that. And the other best thing of the weekend was the shootout between Curry and whatever her name was. I don't know her name, but that was more fun than all the rest of the stuff. And I was like, I enjoyed that more than anything. It's bad when the 3-point competition has become the best thing to happen during the weekend.
Sounds about
but the
right.
game itself, Jesus criminy, they might as well. The Pro Bowl was more exciting, and they were playing flag football. Like it's just, I don't know if they were doing something to protest or whatever, or talking about they need to get paid to do it or everything like that. But good God, that was terrible.
Yeah, the game itself, I thought it was going to be more competitive. I definitely thought the West had the star power, but to me, the West looked old, and the East had the legs going for them. The game itself was just a bunch of threes, as we mentioned. The East set the mark for 211 points. That's the highest since 2016, since the West put up 196. Crazy enough, other records that was in this game, because they smashed all these scoring records. because there was absolutely no defense. There was no D in Indiana on Sunday.
No, it was Indiana.
Indiana.
Yeah, exactly.
Indiana, because there was no D.
No. So total points 397 between the two teams, with smash record of 374 that was set in 2017. The East made 42 3-pointers to break the mark of 35 since set by Team LeBron 19. And then the sides combined for 193 points in the first half to break any half record of 191 set last year. And so, to me, I saw everybody on the team everybody that played in the game shot a 3-point attempt.
Oh, God,
Lillard had the most 3-point attempts. He had 23.
No, you can't call him. You can't call him Leonard. His name is Aim Lillard because there was no D in that game. So his name is Aim Lillard.
Aim Lillard. So
Aim Lillard.
Aim time shot 26 shots and 23 or 3-point attempts. The only two players that shot these two players only shot over a certain percentage was Halliburton's SGA, and they had more than 10 attempts. Larry Bird gave this fantastic speach at the Legends Dinner about All-Star game. and Luka and Joker just like laughed at that speech because just seeing this game was just gold. You got so much Shaqtin' material in there. Jokic trying to dunk and just got pinned by the rim. Luka throwing it off the rim and trying to do the T-Mac and just came up incredibly short.
Luka pulling that 2-for-1 in like the first quarter where he just like chucked it from half court with like 34 seconds left.
They did not care. They did not care. So and I hear a lot of people complaining about on tour, like, listen, at the end of the day, these guys, I maybe there need to be some kind of incentive, but at the end of the day, it's foolish to get an injury in the All-Star game. And I know it's sad to think that way. A lot of these players are key pieces on teams. And so to get an injury just from the middle of the season, it's a double-edged sword. It's like, be careful what you wish for, you know? I don't know.
We can't talk about that because half of the All-Stars are going to sit out on Thursday. They're already back in the load management. They were like, oh, we're going to go to the All-Star game. But then when we go to play again, we're going to go into load management. So every other game, we're going to be off. What it is they don't give a shit about the All-Star game because there's nothing to give a shit about.
Yeah.
When there's nothing to give a shit about, no one gives a shit.
Yeah. Yeah, let me ask you this: what was your thoughts about what's more ridiculous? I'm gonna get your 2 cents on this. Was it the 168 3 points that was attempted, or was it only 3 fouls that was called in the game?
Well, one goes in hand with the other. Because if you're shooting 100, if you're shooting 100 and something, if you're shooting almost 200 3-pointers, then you're not going to get a bunch of foul calls. So the one goes in one hand, so they're both ridiculous. But shooting that many 3-pointers is that's insane. That's insane. I'd have been like, what they should have done was they should have just started picking people out from the crowd so they could come in and start shooting 3-pointers with them, because that's all this was just like who could shoot it from the farthest away. It was like Steph and Dame were having their own who can shoot it the farthest contest.
Yeah.
I was like, let me turn this shit off. I was like, because this is just making me mad. I was like, this is like the people at the playground be like, look what I could do, and just shooting it from that far, and then the other guy going, oh yeah, well I could do this. It's just, it got annoying. I like the All-Star game when they were dunking more than when they're out here shooting all these 3-pointers. Like I remember the old All-Star games, they wouldn't let them go to dunk, but then in the fourth quarter, everybody got fouled.
Yeah.
The fourth quarter is when you saved all your fouls. This fourth quarter, they were like, let's shoot another 732 3-pointers.
Let's shoot a half-court shot, see if I can hit it.
I know. Well, I was like, man, the way this shit is, I was like, just either giving them incentive to do it or just make the whole weekend about a skills competition.
Paul, what's your thoughts about it? What's one ridiculous? 3 fouls called, or I know they go hand in hand, or is it the 168 3-points that was attempted?
I mean, it was the whole spectacle of the game, right? When that game first started and Halliburton just came out and was just shooting uncontested threes for the first 2 minutes of the game, you already knew it was going to happen. Like, oh, they're not playing any defense. LeBron had a couple breakaway dunks, and that was about all the excitement. I think Giannis was the only guy who was playing like how he would play in a normal season game. Like he was just running down the lane, making layups. Like he was just, whatever. But even then, those weren't really contested. I mean, he shot 3 free throws, so he got fouled twice. he was 2 of the 3.
He can't shoot threes.
He was 2 of the 3. He was 2 of the 3 foul calls. But you have to do something. Like I thought, because they were going back to East versus West, that it would have meant something. They would have taken it a little more seriously versus the team LeBron versus team Giannis, whatever. But it is what it is at this point. Like if you're gonna embrace that much shooting, then why not just turn it into that old MTV basketball show where they had 10 pointers that were 10 points, 10-point dots, and all this stuff, and just make it worthwhile. Then let's just have everybody shoot fucking 10 pointers, so that way no one's out of the game. Either it's going to be 500 to 300 or whatever. Let's just do something bizarre.
Here's what they should have done.
Raise the basket to fucking 20 feet. Just do weird shit. Just do weird stuff. Make the basket move.
Here's what they should have done. They should have played the ball back in the football. They should have played the whole game back in the football stadium where the LED court was on, and then just light up random places on the LED court to shoot from. Just be like, shoot from here, you get this many points. Shoot from here, you get this many points. Shoot from here, you get some McDonald's. Shoot from here, you get a new car. Shoot from here, you get this. That would have made it more fun than just, oh God, it was so bad.
If you're gonna turn into a circus, just make it a full circus. Just let Steph Curry just shoot Steph Curry out of a cannon from 3/4 court and just let him dunk it or something. Just do something. If we knew going into it that it was gonna be this, then just embrace it. Just be like, all right, fine. Let's just make these guys do whatever. Let's just have have fun. Instead of all these fans and all these people come and think they're going to watch a fun all-star game, and it was just literally you would have seen more action if you went to pregame warm-ups and saw people dunking in the layup line. It wasn't. It couldn't have been fun for the fans. Nope. I can't imagine this game was fun to watch.
These guys they play harder playing in a stupid Rucker Park game in the preseason than they did for the All-Star game in the middle of the season. So the excuse of we don't want to get hurt and all that shit. With all the basketball they play in the off season, and they play as hard as they do when they go to all these games and stuff, I don't want to hear no crap about them not playing hard in the All-Star game, because they can get injured before the season just as good as they can get injured in the middle of the season playing in an All-Star game. So if you're going to go all out and you're going to play all hard at all these games that you play in the preseason and shit like that, nah, play hard here too. It's the same damn thing.
What y'all thoughts about, because Trae Young had a suggestion talking about maybe we should do it like Rucker Park style and have someone on the court just commentating whenever it's on and1 and having someone egg it on you can't guard him, you can't guard Giannis, you can't guard Giannis.
I mean, it won't matter because it won't matter.
It won't matter because they still won't guard.
They're not playing defense. It doesn't make a difference. They need to add some kind of stakes to it. I know it sucks to say, kind of how baseball did, where the winning thing
team gets home field advantage.
Just something add some kind of initiative, because these guys are just there. They got a week off. They're just there to do their obligations. They get voted in by the fans. They got to show up, whatever. I mean, LeBron played 14 minutes. It just turned into kind of a circus, the whole weekend, aside from the seriousness of the Steph versus Sabrina shootout. The rest of it was just, even in the skills competition, most of those guys were just looked like they didn't want to be there. Anthony Edwards was shooting left-handed 3-pointers. It was just weird. they were just doing their obligations. They were just getting it over with, and it wasn't fun to watch. Like the best event was by far the 3-point contest. Which, I mean, if that's the case, then that's your marquee event. Find a way to do more with that, I guess. But it's a shooter's league now, and if no one's gonna, if dunking's not exciting anymore, if you can't get the big names in the dunk contest, then you have to do something with the 3-point contest. Like I know they added like the starry balls now, so kind of guys get to shoot from a little bit farther. But I mean, every round of that was competitive. Everyone was putting up 26, 28. Like it was a really competitive 3-point contest. And Dame almost lost, and he made his last couple on his final rack, so that was cool to like go down to the wire there. But aside from that, man, like literally the most impressive part of the whole weekend was Sabrina Ionescu just shooting from the NBA 3-point line. She just said, "I ain't shooting from the girl line. I'm shooting from the NBA line." And she took Steph to the wire, man. It was closer than probably people thought it was going to be. So kudos to Sabrina, kudos to, women's basketball, kudos to that whole thing, because that was a real big deal. I know that was a big draw for Saturday, and all the little kids there they get to watch that. I know they were playing for charity, but that's something that I wouldn't mind seeing every year, something like that. But the rest of the stuff, NBA needs to figure it out, because there's just no value in All-Star Weekend right now, and it's tough.
What's your thoughts of Adam Silver's reaction? His reaction at the end of the game. He wasn't pleased.
I mean, would you be?
Not pleased. Hell no. He's like, God darn, y'all made a mockery of this shit. I mean, I thought y'all were going. He thought they were going to hand him a ball to shoot a 3-pointer, for God's sake.
I mean, you had the All-Star game in probably one of the most historic basketball cities there is. You know what I mean?
State.
Indiana.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? The state of Indiana. Yeah. Like basketball it's like where basketball comes from. Like
and then you butcher the fuck out of it.
And then you turn it into that, and it's kind of embarrassing. You give a market like that, a smaller market, the All-Star game, and you just turn it into a circus. Like, I mean, I would rather everybody just dress up like. I would rather have watched the mascots play for an hour.
Isn't this what Adam Silver kind of created, though? Going to an offensive-centric league, though, just to play devil's advocate.
Well, what?
So, I mean, partly he got himself to blame.
Here's a lot. Well, here's where it just went. It went to an offensive game because everybody started shooting fucking 3-pointers. And now we see it that's what everybody wants to do now. Used to it was do the fancy flashing dunks and everything. Now it's see who can shoot from the farthest back. And it ain't because like the game is switched around or changed or anything like that, because you're still having games where people that actually play defense are playing really good defense in the league. But it's just like he's part of the blame, but you can't put it all on Slender Man, because he wasn't in control of all them guys going out there and shooting 937 3-pointers. Like I know the game has went to more of an offensive way, but not every single shot is a 3-pointer. No. You ain't look here. You are not a bunch of white guys going to their local gym and just firing off shots because none of us can jump and duck. You are not that. You are some of the greatest athletes in the world. Go out there and show your athleticism. Not that you can just throw this little round ball from 900 foot away and it go in. Show your athleticism. Show the reason you guys are viewed as some of the best athletes in the world. Like that, this is what it's supposed to be a showcase for, not a showcase for, look, I can shoot this ball 900 foot. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool and all sometimes. But during the All-Star game, that's not what people want to see. I think it's just took us by shock because we didn't think that they were going to shoot that many 3-pointers.
Yeah.
I think it's more of a big, gigantic shock factor for us that this year it was everybody wanted to shoot 3-pointers.
Well, I think the issue you encounter too, as opposed to like All-Star games past, everyone's friends now. Like, this is just a friendly competition. These guys are just here to hang out. They're just having a good time. Everybody knows each other, regardless of if you're on the East, if you're on the West. And it's just one of those, like, you know, you do something, I'm gonna do something, and it's just who can just, you know, it is what it is. The score looks awesome. Like, I mean, seeing a basketball team score 211 is pretty cool. But I mean, it wasn't. I was sitting here all day, like, oh man, I'm excited to watch the All-Star game. I thought I would get some highlights, and there wasn't even highlights. Like, the highlights of the game are people shooting 3-pointers. Like, those aren't highlights. Those aren't exciting. I don't want to see a replay of guys shooting threes.
But Paul,
there wasn't.
You hit something dead on the head though, right there. There is no competitive nature in this game. There is zero, because, like you said, everybody is friends. None of them want to compete against each other. They all want to go out there and have fun now. And that's why guys that are older and guys like us, we watched all the older basketball games where these guys competed, because we've had guys like Jordan, Kobe, all these guys that every time they stepped out on the court, they didn't care. They wanted to whip your ass, no matter what type of game it was. Now, we don't have that anymore. It's gone out the window. The only time that they were competing, if you take a look back at it, the only time they were competing is the one year when Kobe passed away and they did the 8-24 thing in the the final period, whoever scored 24 points first, and after that you won the game and all that stuff. That's the time we seen them get competitive, because they were doing it for a purpose. They were doing it for Kobe and everything. And then when that went out the window, and now that they went back to the other four, it's just competitiveness is going out the window now. These guys don't want to compete. They want to be more la-di-da and lovey-dovey than they want to go out there and show who the best is.
Yeah, no, it's a valid point. So, what y'all think about them having a secret meeting that they want to get paid to play an All-Star game, and that may help compete? Was this some kind of like protest of that, or?
Look, if they're making them go and play these extra stupid games for this stupid mid-season tournament and all this shit, they should at least get paid for the freaking All-Star game. They should be an incentive to go and play in these All-Star games anyway. They should be making money. Their main purpose as players in this league is to make money, not to go and do everything for free. If you're going to make them step foot on the court, you need to pay them. That's the way they're viewing it. And now that you're making them play, some teams play more games in this mid-season tournament and in all this other mumbo jumbo just so they can give them some whack-ass trophy, then pay them for it. If you keep adding on all this stuff, then pay the guys like they should be getting paid. But also, if you start going and doing your game management bullshit, take some money away from your asses.
Well, I think the problem you'd have with something like that is you allow the fans to have input. So if you're going to allow the fans to vote on who they want the starters to be, we already know who the starters are going to be. Like the fans are going to, but if you're letting the fans decide, I feel like paying them to show up is a little insulting to the fans. It's like, well, no, I want to see these guys in the All-Star game. I voted. I came on every day. I did my triple votes on Saturday. I did all my stuff. I put in my time to vote for these people. And then
some of you fans who you voted for, y'all need to be slapped. Just saying.
And then they don't want to show up, or they don't want to play because they don't want to, they're not getting paid to go there. I mean, it's part of the job. I mean, look at LeBron. LeBron played 14 minutes. Just go, put your fucking jersey on, make a couple layups, throw a couple passes, whatever. And then just, if you don't want to play the whole game, if you don't want to play big minutes, just don't play big minutes. Like, expand the rosters. Let a couple extra guys on each team go. Shorten up the rotations. There's ways around it, but I just feel like you can't just incentivize every single thing, because it's just like they're professionals. They're already getting paid lots of money. I mean, it's an All-Star game. They're literally gonna, if each guy played literally 12 minutes, 15 minutes in the All-Star game, it's not gonna it's not going to dampen their season because they had a week off. They're not doing anything. Like just
here's what to do. Put 20 guys on the team. Put a different team out there each quarter. Be done with it. You're playing one quarter and then you're done. Pick which quarter you want to play it, get off. Put 20 guys on the All-Star team.
My thoughts on that too is if you going to incentivize them to play the All-Star game, for the fans, as you mentioned, Paul, the tickets to go to an All-Star game is already extravagant.
Mm-hmm.
So you're paying the fans, so you got to use a portion of that. So ticket just going to skyrocket. So
one,
it's going to be more expensive.
One, if you're dumb enough to pay that much money to go to anything with All-Star in front of it, you are truly not going to get a good game. Do not pay a premium price to go to something like that. The only game that is competitive that has All-Star in front of it is baseball. You want to know why? Because most of the time, you can't fake shit in baseball. You can't fake swinging a bat. You can't fake throwing a pitch. You can't just go out there and lollygag. Basketball, you can lollygag. Football, they fucking turned it into flag football. So if you're paying a premium price to go to anything with All-Star in front of it, you might as well just go to All-Star Saturday night because you're going to see all your guys do about the same amount of shit that they would do in the All-Star game.
Well, and I guess it should have been.
Ron did more getting hyped up for all the other shit than he did during the game Sunday. He got hyped up more on Saturday when they were doing dunks and shit than he did on Sunday.
But like to Cortez's point, like you had this game in Indiana, right? It wasn't like you had the game in Vegas or LA or New York. Like you had it in this small market, and you're probably charging a super premium for these tickets. And your players want an incentive to come play, but they also have to incentivize Adam Silver that they're going to put the best product out there for those fans that are paying that price. So if the players aren't going to play a competitive, serious basketball game, and they just want to get paid to go there, like no, I don't think that's fair.
Yeah. I mean, you're already getting put on the national stage. Your advertisement's going to go up. You're getting a lot more exposure. Like someone like my guy, Paulo, he only had one national televised game, but being that limelight, you're going to get more advertisement. And he was releasing stuff because, he had the airtime to do it. He released his logo for his merchandise. That's the best time he's going to do it because he's not going to have any other airtime this year to do it. So it's one of those that's like, I hear you guys, like you want to get incentivized to play the All-Star game, but man, you just got to think about the rippling effect that will cause if you want to do that. And that's why I kind of question that. Like I don't know, man. But if that was their protest to come out there and just say, let's just jack threes and just BS around and do this. And I watched all that game, but literally the second half, I literally was just kind of watching to see if the East was going to get 200 points. That was the only reason I kind of watched. And it was, and amidst all that mess, it was still cool with Tyrese Halliburton once again to hit the 200 point to put them to get the records. But that was like the only coolest thing in the second half. Like besides that, it was really a boring game.
That's the difference, though. Is someone like Halliburton, and even someone like Shea, right? Like he doesn't get a lot of national televised games. Like he was having fun, but I mean, like he was 12 out of 16. Like he shot effectively. He had 6 assists, 4 rebounds. Like he was out there playing ball.
The older contingent sucked the air out of the game. That's just what it is. The older contingent of All-Stars sucked the air out of the game when the younger contingent of All-Stars went out there and they wanted to put on a show. The older guys were like, fuck that. We look like we don't even want to be here.
That's what I'm saying. Like Tyrese Halliburton was a breath of fresh air. Like
that's the reason the East won.
He was having the time of his life. He was having the time of his life out there.
Almost the whole he didn't get an MVP award. Yeah, almost the whole East team was nothing but first-year All-Stars. Like the whole bitch was first year All-Star, first year All-Star. When they were announcing the starting lineup, it was like first year All-Star, first year All-Star, first year All-Star, third year All-Star. Oh, here comes Giannis. And you're like, damn. I'm like, Dame in it for the 1900th time. Like the old guys sucked the air out of the building. The whole West was nothing but old guys except for one.
Yeah.
Like it's just, yeah. It's once the new regime comes in, I think you'll see like more competitiveness come out of them because these young guys want to compete. But the older cats are like, we don't want to do this shit.
Yeah. Kevin Durant was chilling.
Exactly. All of them.
Wasn't playing that much. So
look, freaking Leonard even smiled and just sat there. Paul George barely seen the fucking court.
No, he was chilling. He enjoyed
exactly.
it.
All of them were like, nah. All of the old guys were like, nah, fuck that. But to be fair, to be fair, Leonard and Paul George have been like a lot of the time. They've been on minutes restricted and all that stuff. So maybe they were already their minutes just by showing up for the starting lineup. So
it's a lot. It's a lot.
But I ain't knocking them.
It's a lot.
I ain't knocking them because the Clippers are playing really fucking good right now. So
they are.
Yeah, Adam Silver, the genius that he can be. Sometimes he has to go back to the league offices and figure out, because you already know he's reading the articles, he's hearing all the feedback of this game, and he's not a happy guy. He's not going to negotiate. He's not going to negotiate with terrorists and pay them more money to make the game competitive. He'll just find a way to make the game more competitive.
I'm telling you, the coolest shit would be to put 5 different starting lineups to put 5 different ones on the floor for each quarter. Have 20 players. 5 do the first, 5 do the second, 5 do the third, 5 do the fourth, and do it that way. And put a thing out there. Look, you make however much to your charity and however much to the winning 5 for each quarter.
And let the fans vote for MVP.
Yeah, let the fans vote for MVP. But let the 5 guys on the team, the fans they put out a popular vote, blah blah blah. We don't give a shit. But put together your 5-man teams and put them out there. Your 5-man for the first quarter, 5-man for the second, 5-man for the third, 5-man for the fourth, and then let them go. That way you're only playing this certain amount of minutes, and then you're done. You ain't got to worry about it. You're done.
I'll tell you, man, there's a lot that need to change this and figure out how they can tweak it and everything like that. A lot of criticism. You got to imagine the casual fan that was trying to watch, the few games they watch, let's watch All-Star game. This is what you get. A lot of the way the NBA is going, they get criticized for this play because none but pick and roll, shooting threes. It's all about pace and space. It's just a different time. As Kevin mentioned, there are a few teams in the NBA that does play defense, but
it was like watching 15 James Harden.
Yeah, I have saw
all shooting, no defense.
This is the season I saw like Sacramento score 156 points in the game. I'm like,
yeah,
it's crazy, man. So it's a lot of scoring.
See, you got that time. You got that way. You got guys scoring 70 points in the game. Then you look at the other side of it, and you got teams like the Heat and guys that are playing defense, and they shut down people that are scoring that many points and only giving up 100 a game, and still beating people by 30. You're like, you got teams that play on one end of the spectrum. You got teams that play on the other end of the spectrum.
Yeah, man, it's interesting. All right, let's transition to the All-Star side. I know kind of y'all touch bases, but Matt McClung, slam dunk champion. Again, he defeated Jaylen Brown to get the
no
2P.
left hand.
Trying to figure out some of Jaylen Brown dunks. So Paul,
the judges,
about the dunk contest, the judges, all that. Talk to me, Paul. I know the dunk contest is, and just talk to me.
It's in a bad place for sure. But I mean, again, at least like shout out to myself. I did project the winner of the slam dunk and 3-point contest. So there we go. But
there you go.
But Mac,
it wasn't too hard.
I mean, hey, there was the 3-point contest was tough.
The 3-point, yeah. The dunk competition, it wasn't hard.
Well, again, like Mac McClung kind of gets that short guy factor. Like things he does just look cooler. Like him jumping over Shaq. I know someone jumped over Shaq early on in the competition, and then he jumped over Shaq, and it's just like, Jesus Christ, this little white guy jumping over Shaq is impressive.
Yeah,
like
the one guy's 6'11",
grabbing the ball, and kind of throwing it to himself, and then like, just some of the stuff was creative. I mean, I know he's in the G League, and he don't really got much to do. But we're at a point now where some of these guys, what do you want to see people do? Like it's hard. Like, you know what I mean? Like the ceiling.
It is hard, man. It is hard.
Like I know there's videos of like the college slam dunk contest, and some of those kids do some wild stuff, but it's just like they're doing this combination of like super athletic with power. And it's just like you see it, and I think because it's a college kid, it stands out more. It's like, holy crap, these college kids are doing, 360 between the legs, reverse, or all this weird stuff. But it's just that they're college kids, so it just stands out as like, Jesus, this kid's in college doing that kind of stuff. But you get into the NBA, and two of your contestants in the dunk contest are G League guys. So that shows you right there that the big players don't really care about it. Jaylen Brown. We knew he was more of a power dunker. I think he's a
game dunker.
Yeah, he just wanted something to do, which is fine.
Good for him to try to add star power to it.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree.
But there's a petition out that he should never be allowed to do it anymore.
I mean, star power, sure, but like
I signed it. I signed that with my left hand.
I mean, star power, sure, but I mean, he's second fiddle on the best team in the East.
Is he an all-star?
No.
Yes, he was an all-star, and he's the only guy.
But I don't think he should be an all-star. I mean, I think on that team, if you look at the build of that team, someone like a Derek White should have been an all-star. A Kristaps
over Jaylen Brown.
A Kristaps. No. There are people on the Celtics who are more important to them right now than Jaylen Brown is. But besides the point, they're the best team in the East. They got to have a couple guys, whatever. But either way, like I don't look at Jaylen Brown and think star. I don't think it's star power. I think there's bigger superstars that could get in that competition that can really like put some spotlight on it. Like I wasn't watching it because like, oh shit, Jaylen Brown's in the dunk contest. Like, no, I don't give a shit. Like that guy dunks like twice a game. Like he's, you know what I mean? Like he can only dunk if he dribbles right, goes baseline and dunks on somebody, or gets a steal on a fast break. But besides that, it's just what are you going to do? Like how can you revive it? Nobody wants to do it. So do you just 86 it and put a different event there, or do you make it something? I mean, I don't know. At least like they didn't have as many like misses as they normally do. It would have taken like 5 minutes to create it, to do a dunk. So that's cool. But again, like two of the people were G League guys.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I've never seen Obi Toppin's brother play basketball.
Jacob Toppin. He had a good showing. I thought he should have advanced over Jaylen Brown, in my opinion.
He did the best dunk of the night.
He did.
Yeah.
He did the best dunk of the night.
And he got screwed on the scoring side of the ball. Like
everybody got screwed scoring on that thing. The refs, God almighty, why you let a bunch of blind old people watch a dunk competition? They had no business judging the dunk competition if you can't see the dunk competition.
Yeah,
like that was fucking terrible. Like I'm I'm going to put a 46. And the guy went between his legs, turned around in midair and did all that shit. I was a 46. Why? Because he missed the first attempt that he tried? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, you can't discredit that because he did on the second attempt. Like the creativity of the dip, you see the dunk, and he did. I did like 3 or 4 more times, and penalize him. But he did the second time.
Yeah, if you miss on like the first time you're trying to do it is getting the timing down. So if you're missing on the first one, you're just timing's a little bit off. So if you're drilling on the second one, cool. I remember years where the dude tried it like 26 times. I'm like, get the hell off of the court.
See,
then when he made it, everybody gave him a golf clap.
Here's the problem the dunk contest has, though, right? So, hypothetical, Aaron Gordon should have at least one. Yeah. Aaron Gordon wins one.
Don't remind me.
He keeps defending that dunk crown until he just can't dunk anymore.
Nah, he would have said I'm out.
He got screwed hard 2 times. He got screwed out of 2 dunk contest trophies. He said, "No, I ain't doing this shit anymore. What's the point? It's just pointless." Because that's what it is. It's a pointless competition. Dunking doesn't matter in the NBA anymore. It's a shooter's league. Dunking is when you see a dunk in a game, it's literally like finding a 4-leaf clover outside. Like it's just like, oh look, someone did a dunk.
You're watching the wrong game.
But I mean, no.
No, here's the thing. Dunks are all over the place in the league. You just got the wrong people that are doing them. Like you have the wrong people that have said, we're going to go and play and we're going to go do the dunk contest. We're going to go do this. We're going to go do the dunk contest. As soon as LeBron said he wasn't going to do a dunk contest, the dunk contest took a hit because the one guy that everybody wanted to see go into it wouldn't do it. And then people started joining in with LeBron going, well, I don't want to do it. He's not doing it. I don't want to do it. He's not doing it. The last big name that was in a dunk contest was Kobe. Kobe was the last huge name that was in the dunk contest. Dwight did a few. But the last big superstar name that was in it was Kobe. Unless you want to include Dwight as being the superstar. Them stars don't want to do it. Because if they lose, their egos are so damn tight that if they lose a dunk contest or they fail at doing it, they're going to be looked at and laughed at, and they don't want to get laughed at. Just get the fuck out of here and do this shit.
Yeah,
like Jaylen Brown got laughed at more than anybody.
Yeah. Kev, so you bring a good point because Vince Carter was on the podcast with Jamal Crawford this week and saying that the NBA was trying to set up a dunk contest between like a bunch of superstars that included him, McGrady, Kobe, and LeBron for $1 million reward. But
now tell me you wouldn't watch that shit.
Air quotations, someone backed out, and we know who backed out.
Of course LeBron backed out because he didn't want to get embarrassed. He didn't want to fucking get embarrassed because he knows if he misses a dunk, he gets hung, the ball shoots off the rim, people are going to laugh about it. And Mr. I don't want to get embarrassed isn't going to do it just for that reason alone.
It's all about image for LeBron. It really is. It's
exactly.
All about his image and the way he carried himself, and he just couldn't fancy about missing a dunk. Dude, you're competing at the highest level. You're one of the best that ever did it. So like it is what it is. You miss a dunk, man. Like,
but he also knew he would get his ass kicked going in there against those guys. Because he can't. He's not going to out dunk Vince Carter. Sorry.
So one more thing on this dunk contest before we go. Let's go for the dunk over Kai Kasent when Jaylen Brown did that. He set a 5'6" kid down, young man down a chair, and hopped over him. And I'm trying to figure out if the fans booed Jaylen Brown for the dunk or did they boo the Boston Celtics logo that's displayed on the court. I thought they booed the Boston Celtics.
One, they booed the dunk. Two, they booed the Celtics shit on the floor. And 3, they booed the fucking judges because they gave him such a high-ass score for that shitty-ass dunk. There was 3 boos all together as one.
It was like their Armstrong layup attempt in the dunk contest. It was like Blake Griffin jumped over the Kia Optima. Like, what kind of dunk?
I did that same dunk, but it was over a power wheel on a 7-foot high goal. But no, man, they were booing multiple things because they were getting pissed off at the judges. Because the judges sucked so bad that they were just booing the shit out of everything. People just were getting so mad and frustrated with it that they just wanted to boo. So they booed everybody. But I think the judges were the people that were getting the most boos because they were giving these high scores the shitty dunks and low scores the good dunks.
Yeah, that's also the issue, right? Like people are booing at an all-star game. Like, what are we doing? Why are we booing at an all-star game? Like
yeah.
But hey, if you see something shitty, you boo at it. If you gave a dunk that was great, like McClung's a 7, then you should be kicked in the face. I'm just saying. Like, if you're too damn old to know what that little ass dude just did and how hard it is, then get your ass off the panel and don't judge. Like, the NBA puts out all these old fucks that don't know what the hell is going on just so they can run them back out there only for them to judge like shit. Only for them, and this is going to make Cortez smile, only for them to go out there and to way the shit.
Thank you, Kevin, for saying that.
You're welcome.
So congrats to Matt McClung. I did see that he was at Raising Cane's taking orders. So there's a lot of jokes that can be made there. But no, listen.
That's his second job.
Yeah.
That G League pay ain't cutting it.
Yeah. No, I'm going to say this, though. He should be.
Did you see what he did? Did you see what he did for the one person? He dunked their chicken tenders for him.
And that Raising Cane's special sauce. By the way,
he dunked it in that shit.
I don't know if we go to the next topic. Raising Cane sucks, so that's just putting that out there.
Where is the Raising Cane in Orlando? Is there one in Orlando now?
They opened up two. They opened one down here by Margaritaville, and we got another one in Lake Nona. So,
shit! So what you're saying is go to Margaritaville, get drunk, and then it might taste okay.
I mean, I hope that'll help. But
wow, this is not a good thing about Raising Cane's.
Yeah, I will say this though, they are opening a Fat Burger tomorrow down here in Celebration, so pretty excited.
Whoa!
Go ahead.
Whoa!
Kev.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Time to fuck out. Did you just say they are opening a Fat Burger in Celebration?
It's opening up Friday. Yes, sir.
A Fat Burger.
A Fat Burger.
California's finest.
In the whitest part of Orlando at Celebration, they are opening up a Fat Burger. That's what was once referred to in an Ice Cube song.
Yeah.
Them white people ain't gonna know what Fat Burger is. They're gonna be like, why are all these people over here? Y'all gonna learn. Y'all gonna learn.
They're gonna learn real quick.
Damn, I gotta eat down there when I come. Shit.
There you go. See, that's why I told you. So
God damn. Right. I gotta go get me some Gordon Ramsay fish and chips and some Fat Burger.
He already got moves. All right, so this 3-point shooting competition.
Y'all say what you want. But that Gordon Ramsay fish and chips place is good as fuck.
Hey, where's it at?
You ate there before, Cortez.
I just don't eat the fish. I don't eat fish.
Yeah, you had the chicken strips from them.
Oh yeah.
Remember when we went bowling that one night and we went there first?
Yeah.
You had the chicken strips.
Oh yeah, it's in Point Orlando.
Yeah,
yes,
that shit's good.
Yes.
That shit is good.
That's right. That's right. All right.
They just don't have Gordon come out and go, what the fuck is going on? Oh.
All right. What y'all thought about the 3-point contest? I know that's what y'all bragged about. It's
my favorite part.
Damian Lillard repeats. He's the first time to do this, man. He repeats that 3-point champion. He's the first player to win the MVP and a 3-point champion. He had a hell of a week, guys. But talk about 3-point competition because Was it 4 guys made 26 made threes, and they had to do a tiebreaker between Dame, Trey, and Hallie?
It's the most suspense that you got that whole freaking weekend. That's the most electric event they got right now because everything comes down to the wire. Because like you biting your fingernails thinking is he gonna make one of the last 3, and it's like the only thing that they actually go and compete in. Like it's the only thing that these guys take pride in doing. Apparently, is shooting 3-pointers now, because they went out there and shot their asses off.
You ain't lying, man. Yeah.
They went out there and competed in that contest. That was the one thing they went out there and busted their ass in, was that 3-point contest. And I appreciate it because that was my favorite thing.
So Dame was actually like threatened to get beat by Young, man. He came down to like the last frame. And that last shot was the one that put him above Trae Young to beat him.
Yeah, dude, they were shooting, dog.
I'll do you one better. But
then they got beat by the girl.
The best part of that whole thing was how they did the tiebreaker, where they gave him like 30 seconds, and it was like, just get up as many as you can.
Yep, shorten it up.
Like that, and that made it, because it's hard to get in a rhythm when you got to, shoot as many as you can. Like most of those guys barely got halfway through. So that was fun. But for those guys like the Tyrese Halliburtons, like the Lauri Markkanens, like that's a cool event for those guys. Like you don't see a lot of Utah games. Like I didn't realize Lauri Markkanen could shoot threes like that. I know he's a big rebounder, but that guy's a hell of a shooter.
Yeah, 25.
And Cat going out there at being that big and shooting it that damn smooth, like it's ridiculous.
Paul, you mentioned
the contest kind of favors Damian Lillard though, because that starry ball is his regular 3-point range.
Yeah, it's 90 foot away. Yeah.
Paul, another thing to add to your point about the 30 seconds, they had to readjust their money ball rack. So a lot of them put them like in the second rack there because they couldn't place it. Because a lot of players put the money rack at the end. So they had to
move the corner,
it over. So they had to move it over. So I was like, ooh, so this is on the fly. That was interesting though. So
okay. Here's a good question for all y'all. If you were doing the 3-point contest, where would your money rack be?
Oh,
mine would be the wing, not the second wing, but like the one after the middle. So like the 4th spot.
So the one on the right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Front and center for me. I gotta have a straight ahead.
You want you from the farthest spot on the court?
But I feel like I can line up my shot better straight ahead in the corners.
Yeah, I want to be able to see the backboard. Like it gives you a good little. It gives you a perspective. Like shooting out of the corner. Like I know it's the shortest shot, but it's nice having the backboard to give you something to kind of.
If I do the corner, I'm guaranteeing I'm probably doing like a couple of Anthony Edwards shots off the backboard. So give me the straight attempt, or I can at least have a shot in front of me.
Put it wherever. I don't put it wherever. I don't care.
Yeah, you're good. You're good, Kev. You can put the money ball wherever you can put it.
Yeah, I don't care. Put it at the beginning. Put it at the end. But if it was me, I think I would have it like Paul did on the right hand side, right after the middle shot. But
you're coming off the bonus ball, so you have the middle rack. You have that distance ball. And then you roll into your money rack. I feel like you're in a nice little rhythm because depending on how long you take that last rack, you could be going against the clock. So it'll affect your rhythm a little bit. So I would go the second to last spot just because I have more time. And then if I gotta get them up at the end.
The bad part about doing it right after that stupid starry shot though is you just threw up a longer shot, so it might run off your rhythm. I might have to switch it up to be the second rack because depending on how your first rack goes, if you're coming in a rhythm, you're coming in hot, and then you don't have that because that starry ball kind of breaks up the rhythm sometimes because you have to run backwards to it, take it, put a little bit more on it, and then come back. So if you're not in a rhythm, it'll kind of throw you off a little bit.
Yeah. Fair enough. Good question, Kev.
Sorry, I'm talking like a shooter. Sorry.
No, it's all good, man. Speaking of that, let's go into Steph versus Sabrina. Sabrina Ionescu hit 26 threes, which was the same as Dame, Kat, Trey, and Hallie.
Well, she scored 26 points. Let's put it that way. She didn't make 26 threes. She scored 26 points.
Yeah, it was 26 points. My bad. She had 26
because the money ball's worth 2, and then if you make a starry ball, you get 3. So, yeah, they scored 26 points.
Yeah, she made her first 7 shots, and then she was 8 or 9 on the money balls.
Oh,
I just think the endurance was a thing because she made like 5 out of 10 last shots, and this is still impressive because she's not in mid-season form like some of these players are. She's got
and it's about a what? Competition. And it's about a 3-foot difference.
Yeah, and for her to do that, like she's a shooter.
Oh
man.
Yeah,
it was impressive.
What did Kenny say? Shoot or shoot?
Yeah, shoot. Kenny had a hell of a weekend, by the way. And I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah, he was.
Yeah, that might be on Paul's segment, so I don't want to get deep into that.
Nah, Kenny, let's just say, was enjoying the weekend a little bit too much.
Yeah, he had a Hennessy Pure White in the glass, man.
Yes, he did. I'm going to say that man was into the stuff a little bit too much.
Oh, man.
You know how Shaq had the shoe with Pepsi in it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Kenny had shoes with something different in it.
It was like an episode of Player Haters Ball from Dave Chappelle. Like this dude was hating on everything.
Oh yeah, he was hating on everything.
Player Hater of the Year 2024, Kenny Smith. How about that?
Yeah, he was waiting on that shit. He was like, "Get these fuckers off the court."
But what's your thoughts about her representation? I know y'all kind of elaborate this, Paul, right? Elaborate. So, Kat, what you thought about her experience of bringing this to the light to WNBA, her shooting ability?
I think they need to do it all the time. I think that here's a perfect. Remember the year where they had all the teams from they did the skills competition, and it was the different players from they had the legend, they had the WNBA player, and then they had the current player doing things. So you had the woman, a girl, the old guy, and then the guy that played on the team. They need to go back to including. They need to go back to including more of the WNBA into the All-Star weekend because these girls, they can come and do stuff. Give them a bigger platform. You got one of the greatest college basketball players ever, either man or woman, coming to the WNBA this year. Let her do something that next year is quite like how you had her do something this year. Bring in that more exposure. These ladies can play. We just don't watch them as often, but the ladies can ball. And if they can shoot like that and stuff, give them the platform to come out there and be able to do this against the guys. Pick a few of them to come out there and do this stuff against the guys. Hell, throw them into the 3-point competition. I know they got their own, but throw them into the dudes' 3-point competition if they want to do it and let them be at it because she could have won. She was 1 point away from scoring more than the guy that won it. Give these girls a spot to be able to come in and play. Plus, she's pretty easy on the eyes. So let them go out there and ball. Let them go out there and ball.
And she is a pretty woman. I can.
Some of them NBA players, some of them WNBA girls, when they get all dressed up and they go and do good Lord have mercy.
Yeah, great googly movie, right, Kev?
Exactly.
I think the thing about something like that, right? So I think it says more about Steph Curry than anything because he's got daughters and all that stuff, girl dad mentality. Like he's all about giving the women the spotlight and giving them the opportunity to do stuff like that. And he had a lot to lose. Like I don't think there's a lot of NBA guys that would accept something like that, thinking that they have the potential to lose to Sabrina Ionescu. Like I just don't think
LeBron.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He wasn't going to lose.
Yeah,
exactly.
My bad, Paul.
Because you're gonna make it this big marquee event. You're gonna do it in the middle of All-Star Saturday night. Everybody's there. Everybody's watching. All these celebrities are there. It's gonna be all over the internet, and it's. I feel there's a lot of guys that would take that matchup. I think there's a lot of guys that would do it. So it would just end up being it would just end up being Steph and Sabrina every year. Or you could throw Caitlin Clark in there.
I think there's some other people that'll do it. Like I think
Damian Lillard do it.
Oh yeah, I think there's some other people that'll step up and do it, and they'll come in and do it. But like you said, one of the biggest names in the NBA said, "You know what? I'll take your challenge. Let's do it." Like Steph didn't have to.
No,
Steph was like, "Let's do it." He was like, "This is gonna be cool. Let's do it." And like when we say the superstars don't want to do the dunk contest, how many superstars want to do something like that? Not a lot. Yeah. But Steph said, "You know what? Let's go and do it." Dame said, "Hey, you know what? I'm gonna go do the 3-point competition." Halliburton said, "You know what? I'm gonna do every single thing I can possible throughout this weekend because you know what? This is in my city. I want to represent and I want to do well by the Indiana Pacers."
Absolutely.
Guys like that. And the younger generation is going to start doing more of what Halliburton did. Like when we see these host cities start getting their things, their younger guys are going to start going out there and be like, "You know what? I'm going to go do this, and this, and this." You think if Orlando were to get another game, that Pablo wouldn't be doing everything? He already did stuff. Pablo would get out there and want to go and do other stuff. Wagner will going to go and do stuff. Like guys on these host teams, the more stuff that they can go and get out there to do, the better it is for the All-Star weekend for their city. Because those guys jolt the energy into the crowd when they do something. Look at, if it wasn't for him doing shit on Sunday night, the people wouldn't have been invested in the MVP and booed the shit out of Dame at the end of it. Like he put an investment into this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The young cats are going to have to step up and make everything more fun. The young cats are going to have to step in when these vets are leaving. And some of these vets can't leave soon enough as far as All-Star game wise goes because they are boring as fuck and they don't want to be there.
But that's why like with these players who are getting a little bit older, right? Like the Steph Currys, the LeBrons, the Kevin Durant's, like someone like Steph Curry has just been great for the NBA. Like the guy just does all the right things. He's
polished.
Baby-faced assassin, as they call him. Like he's a good guy. He just enjoys doing things to bring awareness to the game. And you just don't get a lot of that anymore. Like, you know, he's big in charities. He has all this stuff. And just to hear that Sabrina was like, yeah, she wants to face you in a 3-point contest. Ha, ha, ha. He's like,
let's go.
I'll do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like to have that competitive edge to be like, yeah, that's fine. And I'm sure he would have taken it if she wanted to shoot WNBA threes. He wouldn't care. He would just do it. He'd take the whole thing. But the fact that someone like Sabrina is like, look, I'm going to make this as fair as possible. I'm going to shoot NBA threes. I'll use a WNBA ball because I don't use a NBA ball. But you know, the two of them were just competitors, man. And it's just that kind of competitive nature. That was the most competitive thing of the entire weekend. Was those two?
It was literally an example. You love to see it. Literally, at the competition, you love to see it. Like
I was sad it was only one round. I would have watched those two shoot for hours.
It's a guy. Sure. It was a guy who's more the face of the NBA than people want to let on that he is, because we have all this notion that this one guy is the face of the NBA when Steph has done more for the NBA, and Steph has done more for the game than he has for himself. If you kind of get where I'm going with this, other people that have played and have had these big names and stuff, they do more shit for their self than they do for a game, than to make the game as big as it could become. Steph was one of those guys that went out of his way to make the game bigger.
Yeah.
I think I'm coming off. I think I'm coming off correctly. He's done more shit for the game than some of these other big name players have even thought about doing for the game.
Yeah, like this
and
event.
He's done more for charity.
This event wasn't about Steph Curry. Like he was.
No. This was about getting more exposure
to WNBA,
exactly.
All-Star Weekend, and letting people know, like, yo, these girls could play.
Yep. This was trying to get more exposure on the game of basketball than it was for it to be about himself.
Yeah. Did any of y'all watch at least a few games of the WNBA Finals? I thought it was fantastic between the two teams. I watched a couple of games, and the Aces can play. They got some talent. So did the New York Liberty.
These girls can fucking ball. And then the girl in Iowa, Jesus Christ.
She's going to come, yeah.
These girls play basketball. And here's the thing. These girls play ball with more heart and competitiveness than the dudes play with. Because the girls want the game that they're playing right now to be viewed and looked at in just half of the way that people look in the NBA. The only time girls basketball got exposure before the WNBA came around, and still to this day, even with the WNBA around, is during the Olympics. That was the only time that women's basketball got exposure. You want to know why? Because we're Americans and we want to beat the shit out of everybody in every sport. So you know what one sport we beat them in is? Women's basketball. So we're like, tee them motherfuckers up, send our girls out there and beat the shit out of people.
And you had those those UConn teams in college where they were going undefeated every year. So it was like, shit, no one can beat these girls.
Yep. So and then you have, and now you have Caitlin, who's coming out there throwing up 97 points a game and shit like that. And now she's the leading point scorer in all of college basketball history. So the more the more exposure that is getting there. Like we had some exposure back in the day when you had Pat Summitt go to the winningest college basketball coach ever and things like that. But it's not to the degree to which it can be now. Plus, we've got all the social media exposure that these girls can get or women can get. And it's just trying to grow the game. You're trying to grow the game out in different forms than what we were used to the game growing up. Like used to, they would try to throw them all in the swimsuit bottle and swimsuit issue of Sports Illustrated, get the guys to go, oh, this is who's playing basketball, and then we'll watch the games. Now they're trying to go about it being like, hey, the girls can ball. Let's go. If you're a basketball fan, they are playing basketball at some of the highest and purest levels that you can play. So but what Steph did was he's like, hey, I'm gonna put one of the best out here, and I'm gonna show you what they can do. And she went out there and she performed at the highest level she could perform in that pressure pack situation when all she was doing right now is practicing with the USA team, getting ready for the Olympics.
Yep. Yeah, good stuff, guys. Good stuff on that. So kudos to Sabrina.
But bring them in more. Bring more women in.
Yeah. I agree. So the skills challenge, I'm just going to announce the Pacers won. They defeated the All-Stars in the first.
They tried the hardest, if that matters.
Yeah, they put
Victor
the most
Wembanyama was the only one that tried in the first picks. Look
here.
I don't know what Scotty Barnes drew off his leg.
They dead pulled it. Look. The Indiana Pacers are the ones that dead pulled it. They put in maximum effort.
Anthony Edwards, he took the three left.
Didn't give two shits. Anthony Edwards didn't give two shits.
He wasn't serious at all this weekend.
No. People running the wrong way, like you just didn't watch the person in front of you run the wrong way. Like them people didn't care, man.
You have a LED screen below you showing you where to go. Did you forget that you can use that?
No, you literally saw the person in front of you do it.
Paulo, thank you, Paulo.
Like literally, no. You had the first guy go through the thing. You had the first guy go through it. You follow him. Don't run.
Scotty Barnes.
Yeah. Don't run the other way. Run. Oh my God.
So meanwhile, I'm laughing at Scotty Barnes. I'm like, Toronto, suck. You suck.
Then
Toronto.
Pablo does the same exact shit.
Pablo turns around. I was like, oh man, we were just having fun going to Raptor fans. Now here he is Pablo's getting made fun of. I'm like, you just can't win. That's what we get for picking on Scotty Barnes, I guess. So,
but Wemby, my God,
he
dude.
was interested. He wanted to do it. He wanted to win.
Like this dude, we're at the halfway point of the season and stuff. This dude, if you can get him with the right personnel around him,
point guard. He needs a point guard so bad.
This dude is insane. Like there's shit that a guy that size shouldn't be doing that he can fucking do. And every time he dunks the ball, he looks like the goddamn Space Jam, the last point in Space Jam. He looks like when Michael Jordan stretches all the way fucking out and dunks. Every time this motherfucker dunk, it's the same dunk, all the way stretched out, looking like Dawson from freaking Street Fighter, just jamming on everybody, going, oh, you can, all over the place. I'm like, holy shit.
I'm impressed. I saw him in San Antonio, and I saw him when he was down here at Kia Center.
And then when you watch Chet,
I was impressed.
It's the same damn thing.
Yeah. It's really crazy, man, how these players are like getting this long and athletic and can't handle the ball like guards. So it's different ways, man, for sure.
Chet Holmgren can play some fucking basketball.
Yes.
Like if he would have got picked number 1 that year, ain't nobody would have said shit.
Nope. And
because that dude can play his ass off too. Y'all got lucky and y'all got Paulo, but if y'all would have got Chet, I think people would have been happy as well.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Because that dude can ball too. Abraham Lincoln can play basketball.
Abraham Lincoln. Nice.
When he grew that shit out, he looked like Abe Lincoln.
That's funny. Paul, we got a segment. This guy stinks segment.
Kenny Smith.
This week.
Yeah, I mean, not a lot really happened. So I mean, just for me, like, it's not so much a person. It's literally the All-Star game. Like that shit stunk. Like I waited. I got off. I'm off on Sundays. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna get all my stuff done. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. And it's like I'm gonna watch the All-Star game. And I watched literally 8 minutes of the All-Star game and turned it off and didn't look back. And that's a goddamn shame. Like, at least with the NFL, like, I don't want to watch a bunch of grown men play flag football. You could throw that in the trash can too. But I at least thought that this would be more competitive. It was just hard to watch, man. Like, and it sucks for the fans. It sucks for the league that your marquee event just turned into a fucking Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey circus. Like, all it needed was sound effects. If it had sound effects, it would have been fine. Like, if every time somebody checked up a 3, it was just like bonk. If that's all we needed. Just that whole thing.
One day, you know the way to solve it. I just thought of it after you said that, Paul. Have it fucking Nickelodeonized or Toy Storyized, and there you go.
That wouldn't even help it, because I wouldn't want my kids to watch it. That's just bad basketball. Like, I don't want my kids watching that. Like, I don't want to expose anybody to it, because that's not how you play basketball. Like, here, hey, son, daughter, hey, look, we're gonna watch the best players in the NBA play against each other. Nope. No, we're not. I could take my kid down to the local eSport of Fitness and watch better basketball than they watched, during this game. Like, I could take them. I could just go to anything. I could go anywhere and find better basketball than this. I could play NBA 2K, and it would have been more competitive than this. I could have done anything.
You knocked the NFL for playing flag football. the funny part about that shit was Ray Lewis was about to kill somebody. I get it. Ray Lewis killed somebody. Never mind. But he was about to kill somebody because they got all the damn penalties wrong. Like, Ray was pissed. That was the most entertaining thing. The most entertaining thing about the NFL and the flag football games is Peyton and Eli being the coaches, and then them bringing in all the past players to be like their defensive coordinator and shit like that. Because Ray Lewis was seriously pissed the whole entire game.
That's the difference. Is there wasn't even any penalties in this game. There was 3 fouls. There wasn't even anything to complain. There was nothing to complain about.
Yeah.
Like,
nobody gave a shit.
This
Nobody
game
gave a shit.
was literally. I would have rather watched anything than what they put out on the floor on Sunday. And
I was mad.
It's a damn shame. It's embarrassing, and it's just the fact that, like, Doc Rivers got to coach the Eastern Conference. Like, I think Dame Lillard was just going off to show Doc Rivers, like, look, give me the ball, let me score, let me show you. You want offensive efficiency? Let me shoot. So I think Dame Lillard took it personally. And on top of that, did you see when they interviewed Dame and they asked him who his starting 5 would be on his team?
Didn't choose Giannis.
Giannis.
He chose Bam.
You see who he chose? You see who he chose?
Bam. He took
Bam.
Bam.
He chose Bam.
So that shows you.
Because he didn't want to be in Milwaukee.
So there's a lot going on, and it's fun. Like, I've enjoyed all the banter about Doc Rivers that we had, last week, and I enjoyed the.
I wouldn't know.
Well, it was 2 weeks ago, but I also enjoyed.
I wouldn't know that either.
I also enjoy how.
But now JJ Redick.
Now, yeah, JJ Redick going off on Doc the other day, and then Pat Bev going at JJ Redick, and then Austin Rivers going at JJ Redick. Like, it's a JJ's getting it right now, and he is not backing down.
No.
JJ knows basketball.
Is dead on with it,
and that's the problem. Is I don't think people realize that is JJ knows basketball. He played for the greatest basketball coach that there is in Coach K. Like, he knows basketball. He knows accountability. He learned all those things that people need to have. And he's not out here being a Stephen A. Smith and just saying things for the sake of shock. When JJ says something, like, there's some truth to it. Yeah. And I think it's just funny that, like, all this is happening in Milwaukee. They're 3-7 in their last 10 games. It all just kind of stinks. It all just kind of stinks from the standpoint of, like I said, like, it would have been a different story if, like, Adrian Griffin was coaching his first year as a coach for the Bucks, coaching in the All-Star game. There's all these things that could have happened that could have put some different spotlight on this game. Instead, it was tainted from jump because Doc Rivers got to be the head coach. Nobody thought Doc Rivers should be the head coach. None of these people want to fucking go to Indiana. None of these people want to play in this goddamn basketball game. I would have rather watched. I would rather watch the movie Hoosiers. Like, just play Hoosiers. Just instead of Sunday, just be like, hey, here's the NBA presents Hoosiers, and just put Hoosiers on. I would have much rather watched that. That was much more better representation of basketball than the NBA All-Star game was.
I don't know. That movie's pretty racist.
Yeah. Well, the basketball stuff's fine. It's okay.
Oh, okay. Let's put on.
I'm talking about the standpoint of basketball.
I'm trying to think of a better movie we could put on. White Men Can't Jump. No. That's racist too. Oh.
Yeah. Most basketball movies are racist, but I would have.
Blue Chips.
I would have rather watched the LeBron Space Jam movie.
Hell no, I would not have.
Ooh.
Like, it was bad.
No, God,
I would have rather watched 2 hours of the Looney Tunes teaching LeBron James he's a terrible father.
That's your point right there. You just made your point.
That's what the movie is. The movie is 2 hours of the Looney Tunes convincing LeBron James that he is a bad dad because he doesn't support his kid.
I'd rather watch the White Men Can't Jump remake.
Oof.
So I'll just made this point.
So it's just for me, NBA All-Star Weekend, aside from the 3-point contest and Steph Curry and Sabrina, you need to throw it in the trash, light it on fire, figure it out. But you got to raise the stakes and make this mean something. Because if you told me that the 24 best people or whatever were playing in a basketball game, 30 best players were in a basketball game, say less. I'm going to watch that. If this is the case, like, I'd rather watch, like, the best in the NBA versus Europe or something. Make it US versus Europe. Just do something that spices this up, because this ain't it. And
that would be my favorite thing to do. Do it like hockey.
Yeah, like
make it U.S. versus the world.
Fuck it. Just put these guys on skates because it was a fucking shit show anyway. Just put them on ice. Let them play basketball on fucking ice. I don't know. Shit's terrible. But Adam Silver. I have faith in Adam Silver. He's done a lot of great things for the league, and I'm sure he'll figure it out. But like I said earlier, he's not going to negotiate with terrorists. If these guys don't want to play in the game, then they don't have to play in the game. Don't let them play in the game. The All-Star game will be fine if you put a bunch of young guys in there and it's competitive and it's exciting. I think it'll do the same thing as watching LeBron play the first quarter and then not play anymore. Or watching
who wouldn't have put up with this shit? David Stern wouldn't have put up with this shit.
No, exactly. So, for me, it's just All-Star Weekend stinks. It's literally a shame because NFL Pro Bowl weekend fucking sucks. NBA All-Star Weekend fucking stinks. I'm just ready for baseball because at least the home run derby's fun.
NASCAR All-Star event's pretty cool.
Isn't it the same as just NASCAR? They just drive in circles.
Exactly. You can't fake running into people.
Either way, but yeah. So that's really all it is. Just Doc Rivers stinks, and NBA All-Star Weekend stinks. And while we're at it, LeBron James stinks.
Yeah,
and not mad at that one.
And Jaylen Brown, I don't think Jaylen Brown is that good. So we're there. We're good.
Jaylen Brown's left hand stinks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's good at everything else.
Well, the funny thing about you saying that, so his dunk where he put the Michael Jackson glove on, drunk ass Kenny Smith was like, "Oh, it's because he has no left hand," and it's like, no, it was a tribute to Michael. It was a tribute to Michael Jackson, who was born in Indiana. But no one got it. So
no one got it. It went over their heads, but especially Kenny Smith had. The cool dunk he did was Terrence Clark, the dude that passed away that was drafted.
Yeah, so I mean,
before he got drafted,
Jaylen Brown's dunks stink. Him being the savior of the dunk contest because he's a quote unquote star stinks. And shooting 155 3-pointers fucking stinks.
Yes,
and that's all. 3 fouls stink.
Hey, good segment, sir. Good segment. Don't need no audio for that. All right, so our last segment is because the season resumes Thursday, so we're gonna start doing this on a weekly basis. Just look at the schedule and pick a game of the week. So, what's your game of the week and why? I go ahead and go first. Me personally, I got the Clippers and the Thunder. They play tomorrow. This season series is split. It's a tiebreaker between those two teams. And this is potentially could be a pivotal game that can, influence home court and try to break that up. Thunder is 6-4 in their last 10 games on a 2-game winning streak. Clippers is 7-3 in their last 10 games and with a 1-game winning streak. They had kind of figured something out with that slow start. They have Russell coming off the bench now, and they kind of help balances the team out. And then I mentioned to see how they go against the young guns and SGA and Holmgren and Giddey and all this talent that they have. Luther is an amazing perimeter defender. So I want to see who he's going to try to match against, either Kawhi or PG-13. So just a lot of fun matchups in this game. So the Thunder is second and the Clippers are third. Timberwolves is 1 in the West. So that's my game of the week that I'm looking forward to. That can kind of really influence the playoff stretch down here. So, Paul, what's your game of the week?
I'm going to go to Saturday. I'm going to go 8:30 p.m. on ABC in primetime, the Boston Celtics at the New York Knicks. I know the Knicks are overperforming. I don't know what they'd be doing as well as they're doing right now. They look great. Jalen Brunson playing out of his mind. Yeah, Jalen Brunson is next level, showing that he is a number one star in this league. I know the Knicks are a little beat up, so I don't know. I'm sure Julius Randle's still out with the dislocated shoulder. OG's been out a little bit, but he was playing really well. Precious Achiuwa stepped up for them. They had a lot of moves there around the trade deadline just before it. So they've really picked up steam the last month. And then obviously for Boston, Porzingis going back against the Knicks. I think it's always a fun matchup. I know he wasn't happy with probably how he left there and everything else. So he's having probably statistically, he's probably having his best season of his career on the Celtics right now. He fits into that team so well. Boston kind of running away with first place right now with Embiid down for Philly. The Cavs are making a nice little push. So that's a good basketball team. It's a really good defensive basketball team.
Well. Yeah.
Really good defensive basketball team. But for me, it's just as good as the Knicks have been defensively. I mean, they're phenomenal at home. They're 19-8 at home. But Boston's 17-9 on the road. So Boston's also a great road team. It'll be interesting. I just like all the matchups there. I think Boston will probably win it because the Knicks are a little depleted, but this could be one of those matchups that later on in the year or in the postseason might come into fruition. We might see them again in a series. So, I like the matchups. I like the guard matchup. Derek White's a really good defender, so obviously he'll be on Jalen Brunson, so we can kind of see what Jalen Brunson's got. And then I just think Porzingis could have his way with the Knicks on the perimeter with those pick and rolls. But it's nice to come out of All-Star break and then 2 days back from it, you have a game like that. So I'm most excited about seeing the Knicks and Celtics on prime time on Saturday.
Gotcha. Kev, your game?
I ain't looking at no schedule. I'll watch whatever comes on TV right about now because now is my basketball watching time. But I'm just excited to see everybody making their playoff pushes. It's just that time of year where everything kind of gets ramped up a little bit when it comes to NBA time. People stop taking load management and everything like that, and we start getting teams to kind of wrapping themselves into what they're going to become when it becomes playoff time. So it's just that fun time of year that whatever game comes on, is going to have a little intensity to it.
Wemby in LA will be a nice one on Friday night too. That'd be a fun one.
I'm trying to see who his Heat play.
They play the Pelicans.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that'd be a good game.
Pelicans are hot. Pelicans are hot right now. Pelicans are playing real good. They're like 9-1 in the last 10.
Yeah, they're real good, man.
They're figuring it out over there. They're doing some things with Zion that are pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's called keeping his big ass healthy. That's what it's called.
They're letting him kind of be the primary ball handler. Like he's getting rebounds and pushing the pace and just creating mismatches.
Keep your big ass healthy. That is their key.
So the Magic's got the hot Cleveland Cavaliers, and they come back, and then they're 8 or Nets 9 games at home, and it's teams that's like all under 500.
Well,
there you go. Get back on track, boys.
Well, Cortez won't be on the podcast for God knows how many weeks.
I'm going to catch some of those games because those games will be nice and cheap. So I'm going to try to go to those games. It'll be nice and cheap.
Yeah, sure. I think they're playing like the Hornets, one of those games. Those tickets will be cheap. They
had a weird setup to their schedule. Because usually you don't play all your conference games or all your division games all at the beginning of the year and they're all done.
Yeah. No, it's weird. Well, yeah, we're done playing the Heat now.
They had a tough little road stretch there too, man. That was brutal.
Man. That was
brutal.
Oh, hold on, wait a minute. What was the final tally on the series?
3-1 Heat.
Okay, just making sure.
Oh, he just wanted to hear that answer. That's what he wanted to do. I don't know what it is. We can't beat y'all.
But y'all got that one win though. So
absolutely, man. I went down to Miami and watched a blowout. That was
again.
Not fun, man. Not fun. We just
and I gotta give it up to you always getting on TV.
I don't know how that happens, but I keep finding myself on TV.
They think you look like that guy from Boys the Men, so they think the Magic have the celebrity fan.
Well, I already booked my ticket. I'll be flying out. I don't know why, but I'm going to Toronto next month. And
hold on, you're going to Canada?
I'm going to Canada.
Oh shit! And you're going to Toronto?
In March, and the coldest day I looked up was supposed to be 25 degrees.
Like y'all aren't already talking enough shit to each other. You might get in a Canadian fight, and they're polite.
Hey, I might get slapped with a waffle with some maple syrup on it.
Now, the funny thing about Toronto is it's mostly Asians. Like a lot of Asians live in Toronto. My buddy was telling me this. A lot of Asians and a lot of Indian people live in Toronto.
Yeah, I heard nothing but good food up there for sure.
Oh, yeah, I definitely would go up there to eat. But it's beautiful up there, too.
Absolutely, absolutely. I done froze. So, Paul, close us out while I figure this out.
All right, so
hey, you're just getting a head start on what you're going to do in Toronto.
breeze. All right, so if you want to follow the podcast, you can get us on Facebook at Balls in Our Court Podcast, on YouTube at BIOC Podcast, Spotify, anywhere. Where do you get it, Kevin?
Wherever you listened to us before, just listen to us there again.
That's right. And I'm Paul Mack. You can catch me on X at _Paul_Mac, on Instagram at ThePaulMac520. And Kev, you got anything you want to plug? Go ahead.
I'm always at Kevin C2415 on everything. So, and on OnlyFans. I'm even on OnlyFans, man.
And if you're in the Fernando Beach area, Kevin hosts trivia at V's Pizza.
You just say Fernando Beach.
Fernando? I don't know where the hell it's called.
Fernandina.
Fernando Beach. There, you know where it is.
No, not Fernando. It's not that freaking Mariah, or who sung that? Fernando. It's not that song.
I can call it Fernando Beach because you've been
Cortez. Tell him how to pronounce it.
Wait, because you've been calling Paulo Pablo all night long. So
it's because I got Petey Pablo on my head. Yeah.
Freak Elite. Your mind's in the gutter there, bud.
Yeah,
Paul,
exactly.
thanks for closing us up. I froze there. I don't know what happened to me.
You're all right. You want to plug your socials, pal? Go ahead.
Absolutely. So follow me at _CP. Paul said the rest. Kevin, I hope you got your stuff covered.
Yep, Paulo.
Hey, and the life of Pablo by Kanye West. So
Bancaro.
That is
Paulo Bancaro.
Paulo Bancaro. So
you sound Asian,
all right, guys.
But that's fine.
Paulo Bancaro. That's how they're gonna be saying it up in Toronto. Paulo Bancaro.
Once again, guys, speaking for myself, Cortez, Paul Mack,
Scotty Barnes.
This is the Balls Not Court Podcast. Thank you for listening and enjoy the rest of your evening week.
Blame Canada.